Well, we finally did it, Hillbilly Monkey. Chinks in the armor. Chinks in the armor. Am I right or am I right? Or am I right?
Well, I don't know if we had anything to heck to do with it, but oh my God. Thank God this nightmare is coming to a close.
Yes, it is coming to a close. Mike Woodson looks like he's out as coach. Let's get into it.
Pretty simple. I win.
For three on the way.
Hello, guys, and welcome to a very exuberantly more happy episode of Indiana Sports Connection, because we're finding out that from the inside out, Mike Woodson is doing the right thing. I don't know how this came about. I don't know any of the details of any of it. I don't really care, but it just seems like now that they're showing it on the news and stuff like that, it's more real. But yeah, Trilly Donovan or whoever that guy is that makes these breaking stories, I don't know who broke this story. He broke it, and where he gets his information from, who knows? Everybody knew that this was coming down the pike. I think people have been talking about this since the Louisville game.
Oh no.
And we're just going to get into talking about why are they doing this, why they're doing it now, and everything that's going to happen on Saturday when Dusty May gets into the building. But hit that subscribe button down below. Thank you for joining me. Hit that thumbs up button. Let's pump this video out. Bring the Hoosier fans back. I know a lot of people in the comments and a lot of fans that were just tapping out and not caring about whether or not the team would win and stuff like that. Now we can root for the team again. Hit that thumbs up button. Get the Hoosier fans back in business. And the video is brought to you by BetUS. Use my promo code Indiana125 to save 125% on your first 3 deposits, and 10% of the AdSense revenue on this channel goes to T2T.org. Without further ado, let's get into talking about the Indiana Hoosiers. Alrighty, Hillbilly Monkey, finally, and I don't think we had a lot to do with it, but I think every little bit helps with the situation at Indiana. And we were just looking in the mirror at a toxic culture and situation with Mike Woodson being there. I was starting to feel like maybe he was going to make this move by some of his comments and some of these press conferences afterwards. I mean, when you just start saying things like you just don't know and you're dumbfounded and, well, the guys didn't play hard. He said we came in with good intentions the other day. Yeah, just a lot more confusing things coming out of the man's mouth who's supposed to be leading a team of fine young men into the NCAA tournament, and that's not happening. So actually, thank you to Mike Woodson for really doing the right thing and just stepping away. This could have got really, really ugly. Also, I think they're doing it today. What? Not only is it Friday, I would not be surprised if they did the news conference today on a Friday, because Friday news dump, you dump this out at 4:30 on a Friday, and look, there's the Super Bowl this weekend. There's all this other stuff that the media is going to be talking about. It's a perfect day. I mean, so I don't know if they devise this plan between Scott Dolson and himself, but I would not be surprised if the press conference was tonight, because it's like, that's what you do. I mean, I did go to school for advertising and marketing, so I know a little bit about how places try to manipulate the media, and putting this out at 4:30 on a Friday is exactly what they want to do, because by the time it gets to Monday and Monday news rolls around where people will be more engaged in the news, people have already kind of forgot about it a little bit. It'll just kind of be this weekend talk and then move on. So that's why they're doing that. And then you got the whole situation with Dusty May coming in. So that was going to be the doomsday scenario that everybody was talking about. And yeah, I mean, what kind of an atmosphere was that going to be with everybody chanting fire Mike Woodson? Say they get down 30 in that game, because Michigan is a team that does not stack up well against Indiana. They have two big guys that shoot from the perimeter, just like Wisconsin did.
Wow.
Michigan turns the ball over a lot, but it's definitely a game that could get out of hand, and it could have gotten really, really ugly. So now's the time to make the move before that happens. I'm sure that had to play into this in his psyche somehow. Look, Mike Woodson's going to be 67 years old in a month. I have nothing against Mike Woodson. I have to say, I have nothing against any of these people like that I've mentioned on here, Quinn Buckner or Steve Ferguson. Their intentions were good. You know, he said they came in with good intentions. It's not like people who make these decisions have bad intentions from the beginning. They have good intentions. They're like, hey, we know Mike. We kind of know his personality. I don't think those guys never were really, I don't know how close, unless you've been around somebody in a working environment. Like, think about people in your family. You may know them like in a certain type of way. If you went to be like roommates with them, that would be a totally different thing. That's how a lot of things are like this. You know, it's like you don't really know. And so ultimately, yeah, when I made a lot of videos, and I'm not trying to really backtrack here, but I see why they did what they did. But it should have been really clear from the beginning when, you know, Thad Matta left and Dane Fife. Look, I mean, here's what would have been a great avenue for Mike Woodson to go down if he could have just kind of put some things aside. Thad Matta is a guy who burns the candle at both ends. I mean, you just give him a workload. Dane Fife is a guy who chomping at the bit to get involved, to be a head coach, to be back in Bloomington. Give him a full workload. But we could tell it was like
His ego.
And the ego from NBA basketball and the NBA game just doesn't translate to college. And he has no understanding of that. But that would have been the smart move. And you would have had to do way less work. If you didn't just be like really great head coaches. I'm going to tell you, like, I hear the stories about Jim Harbaugh. He taxes his offensive coordinators with like, come up with a game plan. I've heard it's like, he'll go into the meeting room. He's like, you know what? You guys, you got your work cut out for you today. I mean, you got your work cut out for you this week. Oh, they got a really damn good defense. You know, it's like, boy, these guys, you better be working, you know, to the bone and get this figured out. That's it. Sometimes, like, you can be the figurehead and delegate out the individual activities to other people. That's what smart managers and smart business people do. They don't think I have to do this all on my own. You're able to assess the skills that you have. Like Mike Woodson is good at being an ambassador. He's good at going out there, and he is a very charming guy. And it's like when it comes down to it, if he was just like, you know, a guy I would meet somewhere or hang out with and have a cigar with or something like that, he's probably a truly awesome guy, but this is not that. That's the difference. Like, this and that are two different things. You got to separate your worlds, George. You got to keep your worlds separated.
You couldn't figure out the world's theory for yourself?
Everybody knows that. Don't let worlds collide.
It's just common sense. Anybody knows you gotta keep your worlds apart.
And when Mike Woodson's NBA world collided with the college basketball world,
Yeah, I guess I slipped up.
it lit a lot of people's heads on fire. And that's just all there is to it. Like, a lot of this, I'm happy it's going down this way and not in a way uglier way. But man, we have got the chance, not shaving the beard off. I'm still having the beard until he is officially gone.
Nice.
I have to know 100%.
I've had it with these motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking plane.
And maybe it's going to be later on today, and I'll do a live stream later on. If, the news comes out, we'll play the press conference, and we will react to the entire thing. One thing, looking back, I mean, at his initial press conference, when he said, you come and see Mike Woodson, that was a red flag right there. Whether you're dating somebody or whether you're whatever with somebody, I mean, when somebody talks to you with that type of hubris, like, you come and talk to Mike Woodson, I don't know, let your ears peak up and say, dude, I'm coming to interview you. I mean, you're talking to me like I'm not coming to interview you. I mean, you wouldn't go into a job interview and say, I'll tell you what, Aaron Webeking shows up to the job interview whenever I want because that's who I am. I would never but this is a thrilling day. I think we're going to see the news dump around 4:30 would be my guess, because that's when people will be off of work and out, and then people on Friday night, they go out, they eat dinner and stuff like that, and it'll be a topic of conversation for a little bit, but it'll take the heat off of him so that we can all root for our Hoosiers on Saturday without, all these kinds of internal strings attached. I'll tell you, all the past 5 or 6 games since they got blown out, especially by Iowa and Illinois, it's not that I root against the team, because I'm not rooting against the team at all, but I'm I just watched the game dumbfounded at times. What am I watching? What is this? It's not really good. Even the people that were, giving them flowers for the Purdue game, it was a 75% game that Purdue played. They were at a C level, and it took all of our scrappiness. Mike Woodson, the things that he said, remember him saying this? Hillbilly Monkey, just pull that up there.
I played in New York. I just haven't been able to get there.
It's just not been able to get there.
And I think we can this year.
He thinks he can.
Based on what we brought in, we can play smaller a little bit with
no,
Mac.
We're not playing smaller.
Goody probably playing some 4.
No, you started Renew.
I'm going to try to play 2 bigs. I mean, just to test it and see. You
didn't test it. That was your plan all along.
With Hatton, he can make threes. So
Hatton hasn't shot 1 3 all year now.
I just got to wait. These 8
He's got to wait.
Of summer play.
He's got to wait till Wheel of Fortune's over.
Kind of shape where we are as a ball club and give me some kind of indication of going into next season.
You're shaped like an M&M. Oh my God. Just looking back at that, it's that was the first presser they had in May after. Yeah, I mean, no wonder I have no hair and it's all growing out of my face now.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
But I am going to, when I shave this beard, I'm going to donate it to a homeless guy that is beardless, because, you get a lot more sympathy from people when you look like a disheveled mess all the time. Isn't that right, Hillbilly Monkey? What do you think about the old Woodrow going towards the exit there, Hillbilly Monkey? What do you think of it?
Carved from the sands of the Wabash River and formed into a monkey lamp that's sold at Home Goods. It's the Hillbilly Monkey Perspective on Indiana Sports Connection. Oh my God, this is almost like a decade-long nightmare that seemed like it's just coming to a close. Archie Miller, what? This guy was bad too. Don't let him fly under the radar. Oh my God, he said that the teams were 54-54 in conference play. Yeah, that's right, 54-54. Every conference is 54-54 in conference play, just so you know how that works. But Mike Woodson on his way out, what kind of a speech he gonna give? He gonna get his flowers, and good for him. Deny. Give yourself a little bit of a pat on the back and just get the hell out of here. There's the door.
Well said, because all the negativity and stuff, it has a negative effect on everybody. I mean, it has a negative effect on me, just having this negative attitude towards anything. And I'm not that guy. I have a really positive attitude towards everything. It's just when I see people like that just are not putting in 100% effort into everything they're doing, especially when you're at the highest level like that. I mean, it's how did you get there? And when you get there through the ways and means that we know that Mike Woodson got there, and you're not giving 100%, you can see that. Because there's so many things that led up to this. The recruiting has been terrible. Getting stomped in tournament games. Every time we go up against a team with good guards, we get completely crushed. There are just so many facets to the Mike Woodson era that at first it seemed a little bit positive. It seemed like, okay, he got us to the tournament. Let's see if this team can take the next step. But Trace Jackson Davis was a big part of that, and he had, 2 years of college experience and really came into his own in his junior and senior year, especially at the end of his senior year. But he got us into the tournament. He really started coming into his own in that Michigan game in the tournament, and that helped propel Mike Woodson to, look a little bit better. They don't make the tournament that first year and then get stomped the second year. He may have been gone, or it might have just been a lot uglier, but those were not world beater teams, and I think we all knew that because we know basketball and we're Indiana Hoosiers fans. But the news dump probably coming later today. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Indiana Sports Connection. Until next time, stay classy out there, Hoosier fans.
What the fuck is this piece of shit?